Today's episode of the Read Pile is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
I'm Elle. I've seen Rick dance and live to talk about it.
And I am the sus man Rick Sussman, proudly representing his good friends Simon Gotch and Aiden English, the vaudevillains. You are watching the Read Pile.
It's the week of October 8th, and here are some comic book news you can use.
Before we get to the news, I know you've been waiting. I can tell you're giddy. But all right, you watched Flash, the series debut. I don't even know what that noise is.
That's me actually being happy. I'm happy.
Oh my goodness.
It's weird, I know. I'm sorry, you had to see that.
All right, so how did you feel about Flash?
It was amazing. Amazing. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Listen, okay, I don't know. I'm just like all flustered because I was disappointed so much lately. Okay.
Well, Gotham's been pretty good.
No,
you know what? I like Gotham.
that'll be the next thing. Hold on, let's talk about Flash. I want to be happy for a minute.
Okay.
So, it's just...
All right,
CW knows what they're doing, okay? They have Arrow, they got Flash. You know, they're even talking about, okay, what's the next superhero we're going to do? Let's get on board, even though I thought it was going to be Wonder Woman. I don't know what happened.
Well, that pilot was terrible, and everyone agreed.
Yeah.
All right, we get it. You liked Flash.
It was amazing.
Fine,
it was very well done. They jumped to it. They explained his origin story very well. They jumped in as far as they left a lot of little hints here and there.
Okay. I haven't seen the episode yet, so I get it. I get it. You really liked Flash.
It was amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay.
We have to talk about the big news, though. Not even Gotham reviews, because this is the news. This isn't a review segment. You want to do a review? You know what? Type it up. Fine. The big news is we are very tentative. This is very... Shh. Sony and Marvel are in talks, very early, to move Spider-Man from the Spider-Man movie universe, into the Avengers. And, bring another part of the Marvel puzzle back home. How cool is that?
I think it would be pretty amazing. They know how to do
Pretty
movies.
Amazing Spider-Man?
Pretty amazing. Anyway. I think that would be a really good move. But what is that? Another reboot of Spider-Man?
I mean, maybe, but, if Marvel got a hold of it, with Avengers being as good as what, Captain America being as good as all Iron Man's, all of that, if they can get a hold of Spider-Man, and I think what's more important, I think what our viewers would probably also agree with, is what that really means is that opens the door for Marvel, Disney to start working with the other studios that have their properties, specifically Fox, and maybe ultimately wrestling the Fantastic Four, and even though the X-Men properties are done pretty well, getting them away from Fox Studios alone and letting Marvel get their movies back. I think that's pretty big news, and it's a good step. It is only a step. Yeah. It is only a step.
Okay.
And if we want anything DC related, we could just turn on the small screen, because we've got Arrow, and we've got all of CW, Arrow, Flash now. Constantine is coming to NBC. I like Gotham. You're wrong. And it's all good stuff. You ready to do some reviews? I know you're up at highs and lows. Are you ready to... You take your lithium today?
Stuff.
To the reviewing. All right.
Hello, Internet. I'm here to talk about comic book reviews. Yes, I only have two to speak of. It was emotionally draining between the two of these. You'll see why. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one going first. Batgirl. Number 35, no Gail Simone. It's really depressing. Yes, I went into this knowing I was automatically saying, oh, I'm not gonna like this, it's not Gail Simone. But I really did try to give it a chance. It didn't last long. It is so unbelievably just horrible. It's horribly written. The artwork I cannot get behind. Nothing about this issue, page to page, seems anything like Barbara Gordon or Batgirl at all. They refer to her as Babs once in a while. That's about it. Other than that, her characteristics are no longer there. What makes her her is no longer there. Her reactions to things, situations, it's not her. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's got this cartoony aspect to it, and the way she speaks is like a little hipster child. She is a woman. She is very strong on the inside. That's how she's supposed to be, and they made her out to this teenage weirdo, and it's ridiculous, and I am sickened by what they have done to Batgirl. I'm absolutely, I can feel it in my gut, and it is ridiculous. Oh my god. I want to say I'm not going to read the next issue, but I don't want to give up on Batgirl. But I can promise, I know this. If it's the same person writing it, it's going to be just as crappy next issue. I know it is, because there is no hope for this. I don't even care about the storyline. There was no storyline. It wasn't even an actual story going on. Yeah, they were trying to find some creep that was blackmailing people on the internet and stealing their privacy. That's not even a Batworld issue. Whatever. Okay. But
you paid money for that book.
I almost ripped it in half. I really did. I almost did. The only cool thing about it was the cover. And that's because I got the monster variant. That was cool. Speaking of monster variant, my pick of the week, Batman. Absolute opposite. Amazing. Oh my god, amazing. I don't want to ruin it, because the internet really did try its darndest to keep this a secret, and I know it's probably, it's out there now. It's out there, but I'll try my best. I'm not going to tell you what exactly we're going to find out, but I will tell you that Batman is getting his butt kicked by the Justice League. It's amazing. Now why? Oh, it's fabulous. Oh, you gotta find out why. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, and there's a little story at the end. Snyder, you're wonderful. You've done this before. It's amazing. I love it. He does these little stories at the end that are actually connected to the main story in the issue, but they're broken up in the back. So it's kind of like you get this little sub-story of like prequels in a way, or a side story to better explain without having to be ridiculous in the actual issue, which I think is an awesome way to write. Because, let's say, a reader doesn't really give too much about finding out a little bit more. Then they don't have to read that little extra story. But if you don't, you're kind of a weirdo, because you should, and Snyder is amazing, and there's a reason why it's there. So, you should. You should definitely pick this up if you haven't, and I am in love. I'm in love with Snyder. It's true. I would let him pet all of my cats if he wanted to. He can come over and hang out with my cats, and I'll sit there and hang out with him too. It'd be fun. But let's move along. I am emotionally drained. Highs and lows all over the place. Rick, it is time for you.
Well, Elle, those were emotional. Thank you for that. Let's get to my books. First, an honorable mention. This won't have a graphic, so I'm going to hold it to the camera. It's Satellite Sam issue 10 was really delayed from my shop. Don't really know what happened. Doesn't matter. Satellite Sam's one of these books where if it shows up on time or 3 weeks late, I don't care. I'm still happy with it. Matt Fraction, Howard Chaykin, really good issue. There's one thing I want to mention before I'm going to move on. I love the fact that this is the beginning of the end of this series. Books that have a terminal point, books that don't just go on forever, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. A story can have a terminal point, and I think if more books did, people would probably be happier with their overarching storylines. Nobody wants to read 900 issues of the same story, so sometimes it ends, and that's okay. So, to the read pile. No Uber this week, so I don't know why I did a German voice, but whatever. First up, Justice League United, also known as Justice League Kunida. No, this one's United. Anyway, this is another really solid issue from Lemire and Company. I've been saying this all along about Justice League United. It is a really good, simple book. It's on the same page as like Copperhead, Justice League United, what else? What's another? Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. These are just really good, solid books. And if they're not on your read pile, maybe they ought to be. They're not going to set your world on fire, but you know what? I've never read an issue of Justice League United where I felt that my money was not well spent. I'm always happy to read it. I'm always happy to see it on my pile. It might never be pick of the week ever again, but it's fine. We're getting summonses from the internet. Technological Elle, would you mind closing the windows on the computer, please? Just the one that says Facebook. Yeah, no, the one that, yeah, there you go, that one. Close that one. Beautiful. Thanks, Elle.
My shoulder popped.
She's a gem. Okay, so speaking of books that I'm usually very happy to pay money for, but not so much this week. Amazing Spider-Man, Issue 7, Dan Slott, Christos Gage. People, I think I'm over Spider-Verse. I think I'm done with it. I think a weekly lead-in to what is going to be a giant crossover story has kind of killed my buzz for this story. I actually really liked the beginning half of this book, which was just this like fun team-up between Spider-Man and the new Miss Marvel, Kamala. I think that's a really cool book. And then the backup of the book was Edge of Spider-Verse stuff. And I just don't care anymore about Edge of Spider-Verse. I don't know what to say. It's depressing. Because I was really gung-ho about this whole thing. And I don't know, maybe when we get to actual Spider-Verse, which is being written by Slott, like just Slott, I'll be really back into it. But right now, I'm kind of... Alright. So, let's get to the really good stuff. Another book that suffered the fate of just coming out in the wrong week. This would have been my pick of the week this week. But it is not. Sex Criminals, number 8. I know I picked Sex Criminals a lot. That's one of the reasons why it wasn't my pick of the week. But there was actually a really great, poignant moment in this book. The main character, John, is in a mall food court. He's freaking out. He just found out his psychiatrist that he'd been seeing is kind of a wanker. And he's basically just thrown all this money away, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, because this is the only person he trusted all of his life stories to, and now he's got nothing. And he's sitting in the mall, and he starts screaming out curse words because he doesn't know what else to do, and he finds himself talking to a guy who just happens to be at the mall, and just happens to be a psychiatrist as well. And ultimately, the new psychiatrist tells him, exercise for 10 days in a row, and I bet you won't be depressed. And there's this big, long, like, dialogue between them about that, and as somebody who suffers from depression, I thought it was really cool. It was really cool for Fraction to write this in, because he's right. If you exercise your brain, you can actually move that depression out. And I just thought that was really well done. So that would have been my pick of the week, except, holy God in heaven! Oh my God! Okay. Scott Snyder, friend of the show. Elle's pick of the week. Apparently, her new bestie. He's going to come hang out with our cats, I guess. I don't know. Her cats, they're not my cats. Anyway, what? They're not. Yikes. He and Jacques, famous artist Jacques, one name, have come together to create Wytches, which is my pick of the week, if you couldn't tell. This is proof positive, if you didn't know already. I really truly believe that Scott Snyder is a master of modern day horror stories. Books like Severed, Wytches, even Batman, because when it gets dark, it gets dark. He just knows how to press the buttons. He knows how to really get inside and turn everyday simplicity into straight up evil. Trees that can devour human beings. Pledged is pledged. That's all I'm saying. That was incredible. Absolutely shot to my number one of the week. Threw it on my read pile. It's on my subscription at my local comic shop. It is a Scott Snyder day here on the read pile, but for good reason. The man can flat write, and Jacques on his art in this issue was fabulous. Well done, gentlemen. And yeah, if he wants to come over and like hang out in my Fortress of Nerditude, I mean, instead of like hanging out with a bunch of cats, that'd be cool. We can like play Hearthstone. For you, our loyal followers of the Read Pile, we have an awesome offer from Audible.com. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their awesome service. You can download some really great books like The Hobbit, the unabridged version from Tolkien. You can download Divergent, Lean In, lots of great stuff to check out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia for your free audiobook.
That's this week for the Read Pile. Rick, who are we thanking?
Well, as we mentioned already in the show, Nerd Up Media has a new sponsor, Audible.com. Make sure you go to Audible.com, check out all the great stuff that they have to offer. You can go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia, as I mentioned, and check out all those free books. Like, I already started reading, because I read the whole thing, started reading Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I know you were thinking about checking out Divergent. They're all free if you go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Big time stuff. We also want to make sure to thank this week Mr. Jason Ayers, who is a WWE official, and he started following us on Twitter. Oh. He hangs out at the same comic book shop that I hang out at, and we got to talking because he recognized me from being in NXT, because I'm the mayor of NXT. I need a sash. I hear Jesse's making me a sash.
So, I just want to talk to the internet for just a moment. Stop encouraging this guy, because...
Thanks, guys. Make sure to check out all of our friends on nerdupmedia.com.